So, welcome to Birgderton Fancast, a fan-created podcast about Netflix's biggest show, Birgderton, and we're its hosts.
I'm Michelle. I live in the States. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Musings.
And my name's Rita. I live in England, and I'm at Rita Bites on Instagram and Twitter.
And welcome to our Season 1 Roundup. This week's podcast is going to be our last for a little while, but before we go, we wanted to have a last hurrah for Season 1. It was a wild ride, and there is so much yet to discuss.
But before we begin, we have to get the disclaimers out of the way.
Yes.
This podcast will feature graphic discussions of sex and sexual assault. This can be uncomfortable listening for some people, so make sure you're in a position to listen to this podcast without upsetting anyone.
Yes.
Okay. So let's start off with a very quick recap of the season.
So, episode 1. Daphne debuts into society and is quickly sabotaged by a new scandal sheet written by the mysterious Lady Whistledown. Simon Bassett becomes the new Duke of Hastings following his father's death. Lady Featherington discovers that a Marina Thompson, a distant cousin of her children under her supervision for the season, is pregnant. Anthony breaks up with his mistress, and Simon and Daphne agree to pretend to court so that Daphne will enjoy the attention of more suitors other than the despicable Lord Berbrooke, while Simon will have respite from ambitious young ladies and their mothers.
Episode 2. Flashbacks reveal Simon's tragic childhood, dead mother, stutter, and a father who pretended he was dead rather than accept his flaws.
Awesome.
On his father's deathbed, Simon vows he will never sire an heir. Marina shares with Penelope that her child was conceived in love with a man named Sir George Crane, who is fighting in Spain.
That rhymes, I'm sorry.
That rhymes! Oh my god. Anyway, Simon and Daphne's ruse works perfectly, and Anthony, learning that Lord Berbrooke tried to assault Daphne, cancels their engagement. Berbrooke then threatens to ruin her if she doesn't marry him. Violet turns the tables on him by spreading a scandal about him that makes its way into Lady Whistledown.
Episode 3. Daphne turns down multiple proposals to spend more time with Simon. Lady Featherington tries to match Marina again, but she waits for George to write back. She, being Marina, waiting for George to write back. Meanwhile, Simon teaches Daphne about masturbation. As you do.
Cash.
Yeah. The Queen schemes to match Daphne with her nephew, Prince Friedrich of Prussia. Lady Danbury tells Simon that he needs to propose to Daphne or step aside to make way for the superior match. Even though we know it's not superior, but we talked about that before. Simon reluctantly calls off the ruse with Daphne. Sir George writes to Marina that there was nothing between them, but it is revealed that the letter was faked by Lady Featherington. Daphne embraces the prince's attention.
Episode 4. Prince Friedrich invites Daphne to the palace and gifts her a beautiful necklace. Eloise decides she will find out Lady Whistledown's identity. At a sumptuous ball, Friedrich prepares to propose, but Daphne flees to the garden, followed shortly by Simon, and the two kiss passionately. Anthony interrupts and demands that Simon marry Daphne. Simon refuses, and Anthony challenges him to a duel at dawn. Lady Featherington discovers the extent of her husband's gambling debts. Daphne realizes that Cressida Cooper, her rival for Friedrich's affections, witnessed what happened in the garden and races to stop the duel. Simon tells her that he cannot marry her because he cannot provide her with children. Weighing her options, Daphne firmly declares they will marry.
Episode 5. Daphne and Simon try to acquire an expedited marriage license, but he refuses at the behest of the Queen. Benedict attends a party at the invitation of Sir Henry Granville. Lady Featherington intends for Marina to marry Lord Rutledge, but Marina begs her for a chance to ensnare Colin instead. Simon and Daphne appeal to the Queen to allow for an early wedding, and moved by Simon's impassioned pleas, the Queen agrees. Simon and Daphne are married. At the wedding reception, Marina gets a proposal from Colin. The Queen takes interest in Eloise's investigation. Violet gives Daphne a sex talk lacking in any detail And that night, Simon and Daphne confess their love for each other and have sex. Simon pulls out.
I loved writing this, by the way.
I bet you did.
Episode 6. The Duke and Duchess arrive at Cliveden for their honeymoon and they bang all over the estate. Colin announces his engagement to Marina, much to his family's dismay. Penelope tries to ruin the engagement by confiding in Colin that Marina is in love with another man. Colin suggests he and Marina marry sooner than their family's desire by travelling to Scotland. Cliveden's housekeeper reveals more about Simon's upbringing to Daphne. Penelope discovers that George's letter was faked, but Marina chooses to move on. Daphne, with the help of her lady's maid, realizes that Simon is purposefully trying not to have children and assaults him as a way of confronting him. Lady Whistledown publishes Marina's secret.
Episode 7. Simon and Daphne's dispute continues, and Daphne decides to return to London after Lady Whistledown's latest publication surfaces. Simon threatens to live separate lives if Daphne is not with child. The Queen is impatient with Eloise's progress in uncovering Lady Whistledown. She throws the Featheringtons out of her luncheon over Marina's scandal. Lady Danbury invites Daphne to a lively party with the married women of the ton, where Daphne flexes her new power to locate Sir George Crane. To settle his debts, Lord Featherington approaches Will to convince him to throw his next fight. Anthony and Simon come to blows. Eloise realizes that Madame Delacroix is the most likely person to be Lady Whistledown. Marina attempts to abort her pregnancy. Daphne learns that she is not pregnant.
Episode 8. George Crane's brother, Sir Philip Crane, arrives with the news that George died in battle and offers to marry Marina, who agrees when she realizes her abortion attempt spectacularly failed. Daphne finds the letter Simon wrote to his father, and Lady Danbury fills in some blanks. Daphne begins to make amends with Simon, who is reconsidering what he wants after spending time with Daphne's younger siblings. Anthony reunites with Sienna and invites her to Daphne and Simon's ball. Will throws the fight and receives his winnings from Baron Featherington, who is murdered by his associates. Before Penelope can profess her love for him, Colin announces he's leaving for his tour immediately. The Queen sends her agents to capture Lady Whistledown, but Eloise is able to tip her off. Sienna resolutely tells Anthony to move on. We all applaud.
Yes.
Simon and Daphne reconcile. Anthony announces that he will find a wife without love. Eloise realizes that Genevieve is not Lady Whistledown. She is revealed to be Penelope.
Mm-hmm.
And then a flash forward question mark shows the birth of Daphne and Simon's first child, who is a son.
Question mark.
Yeah. Still trying to work that one out. What is the timeline for season 2, everyone?
Alrighty then. Let's hit the storylines. Simon and Daphne.
Okay, so we obviously really enjoyed watching this couple over the past few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I think we basically gushed for hours now.
And I am not ashamed.
Not ashamed. This is where I have to reveal to you, Michelle.
What?
They're not even in my top 5 Bridgerton couples.
Really?
They were really a bit weak sauce compared to some of the others coming up in the show.
Oh, man!
Yes.
And I am forbidden from reading the other books?
I mean, you can read them. You're just forbidden from talking about it. I think, when you agreed to this, you had no idea.
I had no idea. Yeah. First of all, I had no idea that there was more than just one book. Duh. And, now, I see. I've gotten myself into a bit of a pickle.
But I mean, for me, this has been amazing. It's such a good sign that the show and the actors could make me this gripped by something that I thought I was not very interested in. Like,
that's so funny.
yeah, but like, imagine what they can do with material and characters I actually love. It's gonna be insane. I'm gonna have a breakdown.
I know. Well, as a complete and utter novice to the Bridgerton world, I absolutely adore Simon and Daphne. And if I'm honest, I think part of the reason why I love them so much is because of the casting. And the way that they cast this show with a multicultural cavalcade of actors, I'm still just I'm still just beamy about that. And, to see an interracial couple. I mean, I'm old enough to go back to a time where, interracial marriage was illegal. I was a little tiny child, when the decision came down that, made it possible for, interracial couples to marry. I think I was like 4 or 5, but still, in my lifetime, it was illegal for interracial couples to marry. During my wild and crazy days as a singleton, it was not uncommon for me to wind up in a relationship where we drew stares as we walked down the street, or, when I was in college, getting called by the Klan because I was dating someone who was white. So this means something to me. It satisfies something that, I kind of always knew that I had within me was, if I'm not able to see it, then what I'm doing, wrong. And society was telling me that I was doing wrong. But Simon and Daphne, they're on the screen, showing their love and affection for one another. It means something. And I didn't mean to get this deep this soon in our wrap up episode, but thank you, Shondaland. Just thank you, Shondaland, for making this possible.
Yeah. And I think part of why this show has been as successful as it has, 82 million households in the first month, is because of this casting. I think, hey, Regé-Jean Page hosted SNL last weekend.
Yeah, and he killed it.
He killed it. The ratings went up.
Yeah.
I think this show is going to be important if we look back on it to be like, you can have diverse casts in situations that you haven't seen them before. Like, it's not all got to be Roots. No offense at Roots, but come on.
Go team
Safney.
Diamond.
Diamond?
Diamond?
It should be
who knows?
I've been fighting with people on the internet about ship names for the past week. So I say fighting. We've all just been pleasantly disagreeing because we can't all pronounce it the same way. So.
Yes. That's awesome.
Okay, so I guess storyline we've got to discuss is Anthony. And Anthony and Sienna. Gotta do it.
You can survive. You can survive.
Yeah. So this storyline was real repetitive on rewatch. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Man. It was actually harder to follow on when I was binging it than when we were following it the first time. Mm-hmm. I couldn't keep up with when they were together because they were breaking up but still having sex, and it was all very confusing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I guess, it was important to delve into what Anthony's priorities are going into season 2 and what he wants from a partner. And, he's a dad of 7. So, I guess he's looking for a wife that will support him as the head of this gigantic family. Yeah. And, not grow snarky and derisive when he runs off because he has responsibilities.
Yeah.
And I think this also helps to showcase how important being part of the Ton and being accepted to him is.
Yeah.
His family's honor and reputation was something that was very important to him throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
And he takes great pride in looking after them. And he needs someone who will share that life with him. And basically, I think that's why Sienna was there, and ultimately why she has to go. Bye, bitch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I totally agree with you. I think that, and especially about Anthony's devotion to his family, that came through loud and clear in this episode or in this series. And, given the enticing little hints that you've given me, I am really looking forward to seeing how the foundation of his character comes to life. Not that he wasn't alive, but you know what I mean. How it springs forward in series 2.
How about another analogy? They've planted the seeds. Now
Yes.
season 2, it's time to harvest them.
Exactly. Let us reap the harvest.
Yes.
Yes.
This suddenly turned into like a sermon.
Oh gosh.
I guess another character they've been sort of establishing, that would be Benedict.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really get his storyline until the last episode. As you know, I kept going, but where is this going? He's just banging people. He's not doing any drawing. And I think the last episode, for me, was where it all clicked into place. And I think they've highlighted how much Benedict is the complete opposite of Anthony. In that, while Anthony sort of craves being in the Ton and the respectability that gives him, like, as much as it crushes his self-esteem to like fulfill this role, I think he that's his entire self-worth is built in like his reputation in the Ton. Benedict, meanwhile, he's just out there like doing his own thing.
Yeah,
he wants to live outside of this oppressive social circle. And unlike Anthony, I think he really thrives in that environment and he can just be his dorky self.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He is enjoying second son bennies all over the place, and yeah, I think the whole duel between Anthony and Simon was maybe a little bit of a wake-up call. That, it's like, if something happens to Anthony, then Benedict, you're next in line, son.
And he was like, nope.
No.
No, thank you, ma'am. No, thank you.
Enjoying my life. Thank you. Oh, gosh. Another storyline that we need to talk about, and I noticed that you just leapt over her.
Oh yeah, whoops. That was just
on our notes here is Marina.
Freudian slip.
Yeah.
Marina. What can I say about Marina? She came in, I didn't like her. She continued, still didn't really like her. She got worse progressively.
Mm-hmm.
The warm mist I felt towards her was as she was leaving. That's not a diss to the storyline, really, or the actress, who was fantastic.
Yeah.
But I just think she was designed to be kind of a foil in every respect to the story. You've got her just, like, messing everything up for Penelope. She's, like, the way in which Daphne recognizes her own failings. Like, it's all just... Oh, Marina. You happened. And that's okay.
And may we not see you again.
Yeah.
Although
well, I want to see her in a diminished capacity. Like, maybe it was just because it was so much Marina. Like, it was a lot.
Yeah.
I think if we had less, it would have been... Well, no, they wouldn't have been able to serve the storyline, but it's still like, oh god, I just sprinkle her in like seasoning, not as the main course.
You know, her appearance in this series reminds me of the appearance of another character in a series that we know and love to shake our fist at from time to time. Poldark, last season.
But I still think Elizabeth... we're obviously talking about Elizabeth. Okay, Elizabeth had a little bit more depth going into her villainous streak.
Yeah.
Marina was, like, because we did not know her very well, and what we did know of her was very one-dimensional. By the time she was acting villainous, it was hard to be like, oh, I see why she's doing this. It was just like, girl, get out of my face. Who even are you? You don't go here. I'd rather see more Prudence. Like, give me more Prudence singing. Like,
yeah,
that was the vibe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I was actually thinking about Ned.
Oh, Ned? I don't see how that's
from a plot perspective. You know how the character of Ned became, you know, such a huge part of the lion's share of that series. It was like, why are you here? Why are you messing with my people? Go away.
I think the feelings that they wrought in us were the same, and yet very different stylistically.
Very, very much so. Very, very much so.
At least Ned was like fighting for the Irish cause or whatever, and slavery. I mean, Marina is just being a bit of a bitch to Penelope. You can't even say that Marina was just like doing what's best for her child. She doesn't give a shit about that baby. She tried to abort it. Like, come on.
Yep, she did.
So it's like,
yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Let us walk away from Marina.
Bye, Marina.
Bye. And our final storyline to kind of delve into is Eloise and Lady Whistledown.
Oh, truly a flop of a storyline. Just dumb.
It started off promising.
I mean, I get it.
It started off promising.
It was sort of pathetic towards the end, though. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
It didn't get a sense that Eloise had any grasp of, like, how the ton worked, or what might motivate somebody to release a pamphlet like that. She really was just stabbing blindly in the dark. It was just you know, when the housemaid's like, you're supposed to be the smart one.
Yes.
That's how I felt. I was just like, oh, honey, no.
I loved that in my rewatch. I laughed so hard. It's like, you're supposed to be the smart one.
I mean, God,
it was hilarious.
That really does not bode well for the rest of the siblings, does it?
Well, I'm hoping that Eloise has learned a valuable lesson about this, this whole thing, because I think for Eloise, she was just interested in meeting and finding out who Lady Whistledown was because, clearly here is this woman who, is showing no fear of, what could wind up happening to her if found out. And, kind of living this independent, free life, that type of thing. Whereas the queen was getting ready to do some damage, I think.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Eloise realized, that, here's this person who's, living this independent life and still, they are threatened with kind of a dire future just for doing what they want to.
Yeah, I think she went into it very naively, thinking that like everything was wonderful, and then she sort of grew up and realized, oh, there are consequences to being like this. And I think there was so much hero worship. She really romanticized the whole situation. And it was funny watching Penelope react to some of her statements. Penelope was obviously like, "Oh wow, you really think that? What a life you've imagined for her! Wow!" And it's really just me sitting in my bedroom.
Excuse me a moment. I gotta go.
I think that also this is part of Eloise's learning curve. She hasn't even debuted. Like next season, she's gonna see what it's actually like out there. I mean, it's pretty terrible. But not everybody is a dickhead. Look at Mr. Finch and Cheese and the romance that bloomed there.
So cute.
Yeah. But I hope next season, rather than focus on finding Lady Whistledown, that she starts to have to. It's hard to describe, but she really needs to sort of find her place in the society rather than just standing in the corner and grumble and looking for Lady Whistledown, because I want to see her interact with people and make connections in the ton. So please, no more Lady Whistledown mystery.
No, please, no. And speaking of Lady Whistledown,
Penelope.
Yes. Our girl Penelope.
So you went back and watched the first few episodes. What was it like?
Yes.
Did you notice Penelope watching?
I noticed, those moments when she kind of would disappear or go away, and then a new sheet would come out. So I noticed those moments a lot more. I, too, noticed how her reactions to Eloise and her quest for Lady Whistledown seemed to always come up with "oh yeah, that's really interesting."
You notice that I'm not providing you with any theories or information. I'm just smiling and nodding and just being a pure...
Yes, just like, and I know that, you've said that the reveal of Lady Whistledown doesn't happen until later. I think I remember you saying it book 4?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, now I'm kind of wishing that they hadn't revealed it.
Me too, because I think it just, it changes.
It would have been cool to have that mystery continue in the next series.
I also think it just changes the whole dynamic of our relationship with Whistledown to know who she is so soon, because you want to still be able to enjoy the secrets being spilled without being like, well, how did Penelope find that out? It just changes the whole thing. And it also knowing that people are trying to find her, especially the Queen, makes it also different as well. It's not so much that I'm worried about that, because it is different from the book, but it could be just I don't want Penelope's whole arc to be about being Lady Whistledown, because she also has so much else going on. Yeah. Anyway, so I thought we'd do some quick fire questions to get through it. Knowing how we talk, it won't be very quick. But try to keep these answers short. First question. Imagine you're in what's that show where they sit in the chair and there's a mastermind where they sit on the chair and...
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. First question.
Okay.
Fave needle drop moment.
I loved Billie Eilish.
Ooh. My favourite was Thank You Next, because I screamed when it came on. I was like, oh, we doing this, are we? It was the moment I realised they were doing modern songs as... Yeah.
Okay. Favourite episode?
Episode 5 with the wedding and the wedding night. It's a self-contained little gem. and also their sex.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I would have to say probably 5 as well.
So good. Okay.
Oh yeah, I mean, God.
Rewatch it. It's like you can rewatch that episode by itself, and it's just its own little. It's like a little movie of like angst turned to romance. Okay.
Yes.
Favorite character?
Oh, Simon.
Mine is Anthony Bridgerton.
Oh, duh.
But I've been waiting so long to see him on screen, and then Jonathan Bailey's so good. I was just like, yeah.
Oh, okay. Favorite minor character?
Prudence Featherington and her singing. What about you?
Oh my God. I really enjoyed. I don't know if she's a minor character, but the lady's maid,
Rose.
But I guess I really liked her.
Okay, funniest moment. Mine is Prudence singing. Just because I still. Oh dear, what about it? Like still trying to get over that. I can't sing it as badly as her, and it like pisses me off.
Oh gosh. And her dad, the actress's father, apparently has a decent voice as well. So, or a decent voice. And I'm wondering if the same is true for the actress that played Prudence. Because singing off key like that for someone who knows how to sing is very, very difficult.
I mean, we have no choice but to stand, to be honest. Just
yes. I think, in all honesty, if I have to think back for a funny moment, that was the one that made me laugh. I can't think of any others that were just like.
What about when Cressida fainted and
yes,
everybody's reaction was just Eloise was just like straight up, what the hell is this? And and the Featheringtons were like, Cressida fainted. Frederick caught her.
And the play-by-play, I think, the play-by-play with Simon and Daphne, I think during that moment was pretty amusing
she
as well.
snort laughed also was actually really funny.
Oh my God, yes. The snort laughing was hilarious. Okay, biggest tear-jerk scene.
Oh, Penelope crying in Eloise's arms.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Oh, she was just devastated. For many reasons, I think. The fact that, the man that she has loved, I'm guessing, for most of her life, is hooking up, not literally, but, you know what I mean, with Marina. But then the fact that she reveals that Marina is pregnant, she's got too good of a heart not to now have mixed emotions about doing that. So it made the crying that much more poignant.
The end of episode 6 is just a sobbing mess for me. I'm like depressed on all fronts.
Although I would have to say when Lady Featherington breaks down.
Oh yeah.
After, her husband's death, that was pretty intense.
Favorite line? Do you have any?
Oh God!
Please say burn for you.
Oh yes, I burn for you.
You can buy sweatshirts with that on from Shondaland now.
That is hilarious. And that was one of the moments in the Saturday Night Live appearance that just had me howling. That whole
when he started singing as well, I was like, swoon.
Yes. Oh yeah. But anyhow, yes, I burn for you. Yeah, and I think it's the delivery. It's like anytime he's speaking from the heart. Is just a mega swoon moment.
Well, it's really satisfying because he's so taciturn the rest of the time that when he does,
Yes.
it's like he's emotionally constipated and it all just blurts out of him in this intense, and you're like, oh, swoon.
Well, that's an interesting visual, unfortunately.
Sorry.
So thank you for that.
My favorite line is actually, like, not a line, it's two pieces of dialogue. It's when Penelope's like, Mama, might I go play with Eloise? And then Portia is like got a biscuit in her mouth, and she's like, a lady does not play, Penelope. And I'm always like, so I just love that this actress as Portia is just like gets it. She's like, she gets the innate hypocrisy of Portia, and it's beautiful. It always makes me laugh.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you know, and I think that is a common trait with Polly Walker and her performances. You know, like I said, the first time I saw her was when she was in Rome. And, you know, that she played the hell out of her character. And I'm searching through the list, and it's like, where is it? Where is it? But she was in, how far back was Rome? Oh my God, 2005.
I was 15.
Wow. But yeah, when she played Attia of the Julii in Rome, she completely committed to that part.
Wikipedia is telling me her performance earned her a Golden Globe nomination.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She was amazing. And I hope that she winds up receiving some of the same accolades for her performance in Birgderton. I hope Birgderton just freaking cleans up at the Emmys. I really do.
Let's not talk about the Golden Globes, or I will have a fit. Okay. Fave costume.
Oh my gosh!
I know this is.
I mean, how do you pick?
Well, I just decided to pick my favorite Daphne costume because I was just like.
Yeah, it's just like I've got to narrow it down.
Pick a person.
Yeah, I have to narrow it down. I'll go with Daphne because that's probably the easiest.
She had like over 200 dresses or something ridiculous in the round, and all of them were like almost blue.
Yeah, the dress that she wore to the ball where she accepted the prince's affections, the white and silver one.
I've picked the same dress, so yes.
You did. It was exquisite.
It was beautiful. It was such a like bow down, bitches. The queen is here moment. Mm-hmm. I think like okay, I'll pick a different one. The Trow Bridge, is that what Trowbridge Ball? You know, with the little black bow around her waist, and then she had that black bow in her hair. I was like, that's what it was reminding me of. Is like in the 60s, whenever they made those like attempts at period dramas, but they would still make it incredibly like modish. And also, have you seen Funny Girl with Barbara Streisand? Like that was like that was her whole vibe for that ball, and I thought it was just perfect for like her sort of like breaking boundaries and like running out into that maze with Simon. I thought like, oh, the 60s is like a good choice for that.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, the dress that Daphne wore, the white and silver one.
Yeah.
You know, that was
the beading.
Oh my God, that was the diamond of the season. You're damn right, I'm the diamond of the season dress.
And also her wedding dress as well was so beautiful, and the lace work
lovely.
On it. Just
oh
my God, we are stans of you, the costume department.
Yeah, they better get awards. If they don't, I'm a cut a bitch. Because what I love about this is that we're so excited about these costumes of a period that you can't stand.
I know. Well, they're breaking all of the Regency period rules because, like, the Regency period was so drab and, like, everyone wore white all the time and they all wore the same sort of cut and the same sort of embellishments, and it was all about being as boring as possible, really, because it was all about the aesthetic was like getting back to nature and basics. And
yes,
yeah, and it's like, okay, fine, but I don't watch a period drama to see some like basic straight dress. That's why I freaked out about Emma, because I was like, oh, aesthetically it is beautiful. Like they went for colors, they went for like materials that you don't usually see. It was just great.
Okay, favorite location?
I was really impressed with Cliveden. It's beautiful, and it's fun to see a period drama featuring a gigantic estate and actually believe the owner could afford it. Yeah, this is me side-eyeing Mr. Darcy, by the way, everyone. He cannot afford Chatsworth. No.
I was going to say the same thing. I mean, it was. I mean, the way that they managed the sets for the kind of the rest of the show, like basically building out the both the Featheringtons and the Birgdertons' home on sets, still just kind of blows my mind. But Cliveden, good Lord, that was amazing.
And they really introduced you to it, like, through her eyes. Those shot where she, like, looks up at the domed ceiling and is like, oh, damn, that thing is gigantic.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite thing about the show. I've already talked about my favorite thing about the show. The multicultural casting. So what is your favorite thing about the show?
I think it's the prominence of the female gaze in the way that they both how the show is written, because it's written with a lot of female writers and directors at its helm. They really push forward the narrative of like, this is a romance from a female's point of view. The things that she finds attractive about Simon are not just like how insanely attractive his body is. It's how kind he is, and you know how he listens to her, and just how when they're giggling together, there's always these intense close-ups of him like smiling at her and stuff, and you just get the sense that this show really knows that its audience is predominantly female, what women actually want from their relationships on screen, and also just really embracing that, as opposed to like making it something that they have to apologize for. It's been so refreshing. Obviously, we still got a lot of backlash from critics who think that this show is really superficial and that we're all just like crazy, thirsty fangirls who just like are here for Reggae Jean Page, and that is obviously an aspect of this. But it's more than that. The storytelling here is really amplifying Reggae's performance, and it's not just, as much as I love Reggae, it's not just him. I think there's real nuance to him as a romantic lead.
Yes, me too. And he's also getting the next 007 thing that seems to always seems to happen when you have these, amazing lead actors, beautiful lead actors.
He would be so good, and he's like the right kind of age. Yeah. Like, I love Idris Elba, and he's been getting the "Are you the next 007" thing since he was like 20, and now he's pushing 50, and it's like, honey, we need to start looking at the next generation, and Reggae is the next generation of young British talent, and it's like,
he could really do it. He could really do it. But anyhow, So let's get into season 2.
Yay! Okay, the second season of Bridgerton will focus on Anthony's romance. After the news was leaked by fans, i.e. my crew on Twitter, holla girls, hashtag we did it. I can't believe it. Netflix then announced on February 15th that the actress Simone Ashley will play Kate Sharma. Now, that's a slight name change from the books where she's called Kate Sheffield, the book character she's based on. But she is described as a smart, headstrong young woman who suffers no fools, Anthony Bridgerton very much included.
Oh my gosh. Awesome.
And, of course, she is a Desi actress. We're getting more representation, people. Like, I'm so happy. One of the things I did note while I was watching, like, the first episode of Bridgerton was the complete lack of any kind of Indian people. I was like, because the racial makeup of England is
how is
incredible.
How is that possible?
Exactly. The racial makeup of England is so different from what is portrayed on Bridgerton, where we're just seeing black and white people, and I'm like, that's a bit weird. I think we have a larger population of Asians than we do black people in this country. So it would have been, I was like, this is a bit odd. I'll just go with it. And the fact that they've noticed this and took pains to...
They've gone, oops, and...
Well, I think it's maybe they were planning this all along and I just didn't realize, but it's just so great. I'm so happy, and I think it's gonna change the character slightly, but in the best ways possible, because it's gonna make so many little brown girls happy. They can see themselves in the show in a way that they've not, and that's so good. I'm so happy, and obviously, like, I am an Anthony fangirl, and like to have him fall in love with somebody who is going to kick his butt is just the dream.
Oh gosh. Well, I'm looking forward to experiencing the next part of Bridgerton from the same perspective as I did this one. I will not read the books. I'll read the first one since, we've done that one.
You can do that.
I will refrain from reading book 2 so that I can enjoy it with fresh eyes.
And what are you looking forward to in terms of the other characters? Because I know, like, some people have been like, oh, I'm not going to watch it if it's not about Simon and Daphne. And I'm like, Simon and Daphne will still be there.
I think I'm ready to see some of the other actors step further into their parts, their characters, and continue to build upon their multi-dimensionality. And to be honest, I'm looking forward to seeing Simon and Daphne doing the same. It's like they will have been married for a bit of time, and their lives are going to change as well, given the revelations that will come to them. Now that they are in this 100% honest relationship. But we don't have to delve into that. That'll be nice to see that happening in the background. I'm looking forward to seeing how they manage this whole Penelope is Lady Whistledown thing.
Yeah.
And hoping that I'm hoping that they have a vision of what that reveal in the series 1 is going to do for Penelope's character as she continues to develop as well.
Yeah, me too. I think as much as I sometimes worry, I then learn things about some of the stuff going on behind the scenes that makes me like, oh, well, they've really thought this through and they have plans. And that's just what you want from a story. I really enjoy the fact that we're going to delve into different couples each season, because I think,
Mm-hmm.
well, not to mention Poldark again, but what can happen is after you have a couple get together, is that you now have to then build so much drama to sustain the plot, and then it just ends up having to become like real messy. And what we get is like all the fun bits of people like falling in love and getting married and then figuring some stuff out about themselves and all of that, and then like they're together and now we can focus on another people, and you can sort of dip back in, but they're not gonna be like in some horrifically troubled like love triangle. You can just enjoy the fact that they're together and be cute. It's just, why haven't more people done this?
Anyhow,
let's not think about
we will have that to look forward to, and hopefully we won't wind up having to wait almost 2 years for it.
Okay, don't even mention the filming schedule, because I will cry
just
thinking
saying
about how long it's going to take. Oh, anyway. So next we're going to go to an incredibly long inbox section.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
I'm just reading through all. Oh Lord! Buckle in, people.
Yeah, people. We got a lot, and I didn't want to cut. I have edited some bits out, but some of these emails are so fantastic that I was like, I can't edit this. So I'm real sorry. I had a policy that for podcast scripts I would try and keep it to under 10 pages. This one's 17 pages long, and most of it is questions.
Yes.
First one was from Tumblr.
Yes, from Nani. So thank you, Nani. What happened to the necklace that Prince Friedrich gave Daphne? At the ball, she runs outside to the terrace, rips the necklace off, puts it on the ledge, has it out with Simon, then runs into the garden, leaving the necklace on the brick terrace. Does she grab it back on the way, or does she grab it on the way back into the ball? On first viewing, I fully expected Prince Friedrich to come out onto the terrace and find the necklace. Then I thought he would be the one to find Simon and Daphne in the garden.
Oh.
You know, that was one of the first questions I had when in that scene where she takes the necklace off and then she goes, harrying off down the stairs, was, you don't wind up taking a necklace that full of diamonds off and then just leave it.
I'm imagining that there is some servant out there who found it, like a gardener the next morning was like, oh, what's this? And now they're going off to start some magical life, living off that necklace.
The proceeds, yes.
Spin-off opportunity there if anybody wants it.
Oh, but I'm glad Prince Friedrich was not the one to discover Simon and Daphne. And that Cressida became
He would have been
guy.
Way chiller about it than Anthony. God.
Yeah. Definitely.
So our next question was from our own little fairy tale. They said, hey, Michele and Rita, just wanted to say thank you for taking the time to create this fan cast. I love it. Your witty commentary is keeping me smiling through the never-ending hell.
Yes.
It's interesting hearing the views of someone who has read the books versus a new audience, how things differ between the books and the TV show. I also feel that the opera singer who shall not be named is your new Drake Khan. Honestly, I like her a lot more than Drake Khan. I share Rita's love for Anthony. I mean, who wouldn't? And I'm looking forward to this reaching a new level in your season 2 episodes. Take care and stay safe. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. I know Rita is going to be just all in when it comes to series 2.
I mean, I can barely contain myself. I want to tell you everything, Michele. It's so good. Anyway. So we had another email and they started in writing about the first season of Birgderton and what I might anticipate for the second season. I should mention that I have not read any of the books, so these thoughts are purely speculative on my part. Concerning the reveal that Penelope is Lady Whistledown, I think there is more that we will learn about Lady Whistledown in season 2. Again, when you watch each episode of season 1, Pen is at every social event which makes its way into print, except perhaps for the fastest courtship on record, which took place in 1804, which Lady Whistledown describes at the start of episode 8, and if we are to believe that Penelope was aware of the events of 1804, she would have been all of 9 years old, ? Also, the storyline between Colin and Marina was something only Pen and the Featherington family knew about. But paying for the publication of this almost daily Whistledown newsletter costs money. And where would Pen have the financial means to cover the costs, especially since we know Baron Featherington had gambled away his daughter's dowries? So I think Julie Andrews' voice will be a reassuring presence again in season 2. I actually know about the mechanics of how she is publishing this because it's in the book.
No.
Everyone, if you can and you're not Michelle, go out and read the 4th book.
Well, damn.
And the way she actually gets her writing into the hands of her publisher is actually a lot smarter in the book. She has a whole hiding system. In this show, she just rides on up to the publisher every day.
Yeah.
That's so dumb. Anyway.
In a dark hooded cloak, full of mystery.
Is she in her father's carriage as well? Because that would be so dumb. Anyway, The email continued. Finally, when one picks apart what Anthony said to Simon and Daphne about his summer to come, with the family gathered to bid Colin farewell to Greece, I thought that Anthony was expressing for himself what appeared to be the success of Simon and Daphne's ruse, that a courtship based on friendship and not the pressure of one having to fall in love immediately with the other would result in Anthony finding his Viscountess. Of course, his remark also showed how he filtered them through his conversations with Simon just before his WWE SmackDown at the club, and also his broken heart over the dissolution of his relationship with Sienna. As Anthony remarked, quote, "I finally determined the difficulty, love itself. Removing it from all romantic relations shall make me all the better for it. No more distractions from responsibility or being waylaid from the sensible path. Ah, Anthony, season 2 awaits." In closing, ladies, I want to say I loved hearing your remarks about the presence of a bee in the opening sequence of episode 1 on Benedict's collar, Eloise's hair clips, and fluttering around at the end of episode 8. While I don't understand their significance, it's fun to see the motif carried through the episodes, which I know one day will be revealed. And I also loved your remarks, Rita, about how at the start of Daphne and Simon's attachment she wore blue and he wore red, and now by episode 8 at their season-ending ball they were wearing shades of red and blue blending into purple. Lovely. You both give such depth to what ordinarily would be simply exquisite Netflix production. Thank you both.
Aww.
Cheers. And that's from Jean. Hey, Jean.
Oh, thank you, Jean. What a lovely email.
I know, they're all being so nice. I was like, last week when I was like, please don't send in nice gushing emails.
Yes.
They all took that to heart and decided to troll me. Like, let's make Rita uncomfortable.
Well, here is another one. Hi, fabulous fancasters. Season 1 thoughts. Good stuff. Costumes, music, actors, Penelope, Lady Danbury, new characters. Yes, all of them, even Marina and Sienna. I know you guys didn't care for either of these characters, but I think they gave us more background for Anthony and Colin. For Anthony, we needed to see that he is a rake, notice capital R, see the second book where LW defines capital R rake, as a guy who messes with the non-lady ladies, but not the lady ladies.
Not the lady ladies.
Yes. We need to not like him, and I think non-book readers really don't like him. For Colin, we get to see that he wants to fall in love and do the family thing. He's not really interested in being a rake, but he is young and still has things to learn. Not so good stuff. I didn't really care for Eloise's story about trying to figure out who Lady Whistledown is. I think it's too early for that, and I don't want to sit through 3 more seasons of her trying to figure it out when it's right under her nose. I loved Eloise otherwise, and especially her late-night talks with Benedict. the Marina storyline, I think, was partly to redeem Daphne. There were other ways to redeem Daphne, see bad stuff. Also, this is not necessarily bad, but the Marina storyline leaves questions for book readers regarding Sir Philip. I guess it will be interesting how they resolve all that. Bad stuff. Well, that scene. I reread the book again after watching it, and I'm not sure they made it better than the book. At least in the book, Daphne tries to talk to Simon about it before she assaults him. If we just got an apology from Daphne, did we get that?
No, we didn't.
Nah, we didn't. Overall rating 4.9999 for the season. It was a nice compliment to the book. You can go and read the book and enjoy it because it gives the inner thoughts of Simon and Daphne. Season 2 questions for you. How much Simon and Daphne do you think we need, and how much do you think we are going to get? I see a lot of chatter about how much people love Simon and want to continue focusing on him. I love Ray J, but I hope we can focus on Anthony and Kate. I think it would be great if Anthony uses Simon to express some of his inner thoughts, kind of like how Will was used for Simon.
That would be great.
Yeah, I think that would be wonderful. They just cast Kate. Thoughts? She looks beautiful, and I think it is great they are going for more diversity. The key will be if she has chemistry with Anthony. It's hard to believe any female, and probably some males, could not.
The other day, Julia Quinn did a Instagram live where she talked about how they cast her, and she said that when she saw the audition tapes, she was blown away by the chemistry, which makes me really happy, but also just intensely annoyed that I can't see the tapes. Show me the tapes.
Yes, we need the tapes. We need the tapes. Let's see. I have high hopes for season 2 to be better than season 1. Hope I didn't just jinx it.
Yeah.
I've been disappointed a lot of season 2, 3, 4 after loving a season 1. I'm looking at you, Poldark, and Downton Abbey.
Joining you.
Yeah. The one thing I think Bridgerton has going for it that those two other shows didn't is that we have a new couple to focus on each season. So if Ray J wants to pull a Dan Stevens, we don't have to kill him off. He can just show up once a season and there will always be a new couple to ship. The Poldark books had that to some degree. Carol Light was good, Morwenna Drake not so much. But it was hard to match the chemistry or the intensity of Romelza. Preach it. I think Anthony and Kate have the potential to match Simon and Daphne intensity. Speaking of Poldark, I don't remember how you reacted to that scene in season 2, but if you feel like comparing it to how it was handled versus how they handled the scene in Bridgerton, I think you were disappointed in how the aftermath was handled. We never really got an apology from Ross, did we? And they tried to redeem him by showing him as a swashbuckling hero. Didn't work for me. The book handled the aftermath much better.
Yeah.
Well, I better stop. Thanks for reading. Keep on podcasting. Carol, a.k.a. Love Me a Period Drama.
Hey, girl.
Thank you, Carol.
I remember recording that particular episode of the Poldark Fancast because I was so nervous. I was like,
we did 2 episodes
because
on that.
There's just so much drama going on.
Yeah. But yeah, and I remember how worried I think we both were when it came time to record that episode. But I think it wound up coming out to being one of our best.
Agreed. And considering it was one of the first podcasts we ever put out, and it was such a heavy topic.
Yeah.
I feel much more confident about talking about the subject now than I did back then. But just generally, I think both these shows didn't handle it brilliantly. That's my hot take right there. But I think, honestly, Poldark handled it in a slightly more problematic way because I think it was just played more as this is consensual. Where at least I think Bridgerton has the awareness that this was not an okay action for her to take. Yeah. So that's troubling. Okay.
Oh, and one last thing. The lack of apology by Ross to Demelza about what occurred. I mean, that wound up being kind of one of the biggest mistakes that I think the Poldark team handled or made when it came to handling the incident. Because, obviously, hashtag in the books, we've talked about how Ross does actively apologize. He actually says,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And apologizes for his behavior and what he did and what he put Demelza through. And I know that it was omitted in order to continue the whole Elizabeth isn't all that bad thing.
I think it was also partly to create lasting drama and conflict in their marriage.
Oh, absolutely.
But ultimately, don't you feel like it did more damage to Ross's character than it did to their marriage?
Yes, I do.
And that's what I think is sort of happening with Bridgerton, is that a lot of people love Simon and Daphne, but a lot of other people reacted in a really negative way to what she did. And because they never had a conclusion to it, there's no place for that resentment to go other than just to be like, well, I don't like her.
Yeah. And to just simmer there.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
another email. You guys, there's a lot of this. We're not even halfway there. Okay, dear Rita and Michelle, I've composed in my head a lot of emails to you over the years and have now finally managed to actually contact you. A cheery hello and thank you from Sydney, Australia. Having just listened to Rita mention in your latest podcast how much you love soppy declarations of how great you are from the fans, I think there might be a little more of that coming your way. You're both amazing. Oh, God. Okay, so I'm a long-time Poldark Fancast fangirl and was so excited that you were stepping into a Bridgerton podcast. Your podcasts bring me a lot of joy, and it feels like I know you even though we've never met. Possibly sounds creepy, but please take it instead as the heartfelt thank you from the other side of the world that it is intended as. Your efforts to continue to make your podcasts, including your period drama series during 2020, has been a great comfort to a horrible and challenging 2020, knowing that your experience in the UK and US has been way more intense than mine in Sydney. Hey, but you guys had a serious actual lockdown, so you're doing okay. You always say something that makes me smile, nod in agreement, or chuckle out loud. I was a late comer to Bridgerton. How did I not know about Julia Quinn? ? And read the first book before finally watching Bridgerton over 2 days with 3 friends in late January. What a cracker. Amazing actors, great writing, lavish costumes and set, and a super fast-paced plot. What isn't there to like, other than the artificial flowers? Oh, God. I'm so in awe that you decided on a delayed gratification approach of recording the podcast after each episode, and I'm even more impressed that you stuck with that for 8 episodes. I hope you enjoy your binge rewatch or 3. I was pretty skeptical when I heard there would be new characters introduced in the series, but I feel that the introduction of royalty, Baron Featherington, and poor cousin Marina had greater depth, repetition, and variety to the palette that the writers can then work with. For example, for the Queen, it sets up Daphne's story very quickly as the diamond of the season, her failure to attract suitors and proposals, and reinforces the impact of Lady Whistledown's society papers with the cut-through of her writing on the Queen. For Marina, it reinforces some of the other plot points, such as the Penelope and Eloise, not just Daphne, have no clue about sex, society's reaction to well-bred women who are pregnant outside of marriage, what the options were for unmarried well-bred women, as well as giving insight into Lady Featherington's character, such as the fake letter. For me, the Baron was the least interesting of the 3, but did set up a riches to relative rags angle that set up Philippa's cheese man disappearing and then reappearing, that there may have been financial reasons why the Baron was hosting Marina rather than sending her home, the fixing of the boxing match and Will's set down of the Duke, and the speculation about what is going to happen to the Featheringtons in Season 2. Like Michelle said, there could be a Mr. Collins waiting round the corner. Will Penelope still live in London? Will Lady Whistledown continue to be able to move in the first circles and deliver her gossips? My friends did laugh when I reflected that in the books, as Michelle would say, Simon has more depth because considerable time is spent in setting up just how awful his father is and the physical and emotional damage that comes from that. Their amused reply to me was that they didn't think that was a problem at all, as audible sigh. Simon doesn't really need any depth in order to get their attention on screen. Point taken. While I think the flashbacks showed Simon's history, the quick emotional resolution of it on the screen reminded me of the Drake Morwenna "I've given up my child now. Now I can sleep with you" moment from Poldark, which was not a positive memory. Also, no, that was honestly in 5 seasons of Poldark, probably one of the worst conclusions to a storyline you will ever see.
Yep.
Also, my recollection, spoiler alert, Michelle, if you haven't read The Duke and I yet, that was hashtag in the book, Simon left Daphne after his stutter returned. Yeah, his after Daphne assaults him, he starts stuttering, and then he's so ashamed. Gosh. He's like, in the moment, he's like, "I've got to leave." Anyway,
Oh, wow. Oh, I look forward to that.
For me, that had a very strong emotional impact in demonstrating what a very traumatized and damaged person Simon still was when dealing with his emotions, quite independently of my reaction to the "I'm not having children" storyline. Oh, for realsies. I could keep on writing about topics such as Daphne's forced sex with Simon, which I actually found pretty troubling in today's world with so many warped ideas about consent or coercion. I had to try to rationalize that it was essential to Daphne's reclaiming of her sexual awareness and further development of the Simon and Daphne storyline, but I'm still not feeling very comfortable about any of that, and I'm still very angry with Daphne. I don't think a gender role reversal makes it any less okay.
We agree heartily with you.
I'm really hoping that a Birgderton Book Club podcast is on the cards for you. I would also be really interested to hear you discuss other romance writers that you would recommend. Sorry if you have already done this through your social media. I'm not much of a social media girl. Thank you for your generous call out to other Birgderton podcasts, as I have already I have enjoyed hearing their views. You're all bringing different perspectives, focusing on different angles, and coming to Birgderton from different backgrounds, but you will always be number one. Thank you so much for all of your time and effort you put into preparing, recording, and editing your podcasts. I miss everything else that you do, and for also reading random emailed thoughts from ordinary people like me. This email became far longer than I intended, but it was fun to reminisce with you. All the best to you both, and wishing you many happy pod years ahead, Melinda. Oh my God, Melinda.
Melinda.
You're a new favorite person, Melinda.
Oh my gosh. Thank you.
That was so nice. Again, I'm still not comfortable with it. I think I agree with absolutely everything. How did you feel about talking about the book after you've read it? We could just do like one podcast, not the longest book in the world. To break it down into chapters would be absolutely an insane undertaking, if you ask me.
Okay, sounds good. But yeah, I would love to do a book club on this, because I'm looking forward to those little things that didn't make it into the show, and things that I wish had made it into the show. Like, I wish that they had included a moment where Simon's stutter returned, because I think that would have just added to his character. All right, another email. I binged Birgderton on Netflix in 2 days. Then I listened to all 8 books in order on audio, since I found that the physical books were on back order. Since I watched the show before reading the books, I was a little surprised to find out that Penelope was Lady Whistledown, but not shocked. Before reading the books, I was convinced that she was not working alone, and there must be a few Lady Whistledowns. I loved that they cast Julie Andrews as the voice of Lady Whistledown. I think that may have been the voice and let me try that again. I think that may have been the voice and the way that Penelope feels inside.
She feels like an old sassy lady, is what you're saying.
Yes.
I sometimes feel like that too, so yeah, fair.
Yes. I also wondered who would inherit Featherington's estate. I think that Penelope will start secretly giving some of her Lady Whistledown money to her mother and sisters. I keep rereading a line from Eloise's book on how she needed to find someone of the correct gender, which I predict part of the reason she was determined to remain a spinster was because she was not attracted to men. I would love the show to explore her sexuality in upcoming seasons. I love your podcast. Keep up the great work, ladies. Self-proclaimed Birgderton fangirl and bee lover, even though I'm allergic. Ella B. from Illinois, US of A. Thank you, Ella.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. That would be kind of cool if we had a moment to explore sexuality. I mean, you know, they've delved a little tiny itty bitty bit into that with Benedict and his antics. But I think that would be really cool.
I don't foresee them choosing any of the Bridgertons to maybe do that with, because I think it would be really weird to buy a group of, like, imagine if you're Netflix and you've bought this book series and you're also like, I imagine they have some kind of publishing deal where they put the little sticker on, like, as seen on Netflix, and they get a cut of the, and you're like, you've made Eloise gay in the show, and then people go to buy the book and she's, spoiler alert, not gay in the books. And it's like, that's going to be really weird for people. So I know that it's a popular, like, fan theory that Eloise is gay, but guys, lower your expectations.
Wise words.
Okay, so next email. Hey guys, thanks for putting out such a great podcast. Like you two, I have been loving Bridgerton and really appreciate and enjoy listening to your in-depth reviews. I have some strong feelings on the more troubling aspects of episode 6. I mean, who doesn't, baby?
I hope everybody does, but...
So I thought I'd throw my 2 cents in. I found it troubling when people characterized Daphne as hard to sympathize with and as the primary transgressor in her relationship with Simon when she herself was assaulted. Rape by deception / fraud when the perpetrator obtains the victim's consent to engage in sexual relations through false statements or actions is a very real offense. I've seen romanticizings of Simon seemingly obtaining consent in the wedding night scene, but revisiting it, I find it a bit tainted. When he was very thoughtful, gentle, I think it's notable that if Daphne had full knowledge of his ability, but unwillingness to have children, she may not have consented to having sex with him then, or the additional times going forward. I find it difficult then to say she gave fully informed consent. I did not view her withdrawing from Simon after learning the truth as sulking or plotting or being immature, but as someone coming to terms with the fact that what they thought was a consensual relationship was actually not. That is violating and traumatizing, and I think it is valid for someone to feel violated and traumatized in the wake of it. I find it additionally troubling that people brush off Simon's assault of Daphne as him not being good at communicating. I do not think that justifies the assault. Note, I'm not saying Daphne's assault justifies her then assaulting her assaulter, but I view the plot point as not being about a one-way assault of Simon by Daphne, but about how the social pressures put on the men in Simon's position and the state of submission and naivety women in Daphne's class are kept in, leads two people who love each other to commit transgressive actions against each other. I speculate that because Daphne's violation of Simon was more visual and in the moment, it disturbed and was noticed by viewers more. However, I find the subtler, longer-term violation of Daphne's equally disturbing and people's dismissiveness, disregard for it quite upsetting. Finally, there's a lot of sympathy put into Simon's childhood trauma and how it shapes his bad actions and decisions, but nowhere near as equal sympathy for Daphne's. Again, I think this is because Simon's abusive relationship with his father was less subtle. Daphne's having a big, happy family in comparison to Simon's stark aloneness makes her trauma and anxiety less noticeable. But throughout the series, Daphne's voices that being a wife and a mother is all she was raised for / worth. At one point, when talking to Anthony, she says if she can't find a husband, she will be nothing. That's some pretty dark shit. Additionally, we see Daphne's life being subject to the choices of the men around her, to Anthony and to the men who she needs to choose her as a wife. During her fight with Simon, she says, "You chose this." She had thought that them not having children had been them accepting an unchangeable circumstance together, only to find out that it was another instance of a man in her life making a unilateral choice and subjecting her to it. For those reasons, I'm sympathetic to Daphne. I'm neither Team Simon or Team Daphne in the matter, but rather Team Daphne and Simon, as I think that their problems are not insurmountable. Ultimately, I think they're both equally culpable and equally sympathetic in the breakdown of their marriage. This is stupidly long, and I could probably go on forever, but so thanks for providing a forum for discussion. Wow. That was really well written and just a lot to take in. I think...
Yeah.
I'm going to just be honest here and come in, like, I have biases. Everybody has biases. And I think as somebody who desperately doesn't want children, my instinct is always to be, like, completely horrified at the thought of someone doing what Daphne did. But you make an excellent case for the fact that what Simon did was just as worse.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that I'm not going to say anymore because the person who sent the email said it so eloquently.
Yeah. I'm like, do you want to take over the podcast? Because
yeah, because you just did a really great job of what we kind of bumbled our way through. But God, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts.
And thanks for everybody who wrote in, because it is such a tough topic. And we all come from it from different angles, and it's really good to have, like, just to be able to talk about this.
Next email. Hello, ladies. I love your podcast, and thank you for making the sacrifice of recording each podcast before you watch the next episode. I don't know how you do it.
Me either.
It was hard. It was hard. I had a thought to share about Daphne's assault on Simon. I have only seen the show without reading the books. The way she tricks him into completing inside her is inexcusable and rape adjacent, if not fully rape. I see only one mitigating factor I wanted to share. Even after speaking with Rose, Daphne did not want to believe that Simon was deceiving her. She might have held out hope that he would not react when she prevented him from pulling out. And she would discover that she had been mistaken about suspecting his deception. Should she have talked to him instead of raping him? Hell yes. Thanks, Kat. That's an interesting point.
Yes. So you're seeing it as her checking. Just like double checking, just making sure my assertion. Wow.
Now that I've learned what actually needs to happen in order to conceive children, I just want to check to see if that is indeed the case. That's very interesting.
I had not thought of that, so thanks for pointing that out, Kat. Yeah. I'm not sure it justifies it, but it's interesting.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Another email. Hello, ladies. I'd like to say that I adore Birgderton and your podcast. That's all. You're lovely. More importantly, I must demand you discuss the Birgderton musical being developed by Emily Bear and Abigail Barlow. If you haven't already heard of it, you must look it up. Anyways, I hope you will take my suggestions to heart. Have a splendid week. The TikTok musical. Yeah, okay. So on TikTok, an app I do not go on, these two amazing, beautiful women started developing a musical that, honestly, guys, when this started blowing up, I could not watch it because it was spoilery.
Ah!
So I did not watch it. Also, it's on TikTok, and I'm over 30 now, so not an app I understand. If somebody could like send me the links, not on TikTok, like on a YouTube video would be ideal.
That would be ideal.
We'll watch it. We'll probably be like, this is the greatest thing ever. There were loads of articles about it when it first blew up.
Wow. Okay. Next email. Hello, ladies. I wanted to know your opinion on Colin's involvement with Anthony's storyline. Do you think the show's going to stay faithful to the books and keep Colin as the one who introduces them, or let this roll to Daph and Simon? I read somewhere that the couple's going to play quite a big role in Anthony's love story, and as much as I like the idea, I'd rather stick with Colin and his renowned matchmaking skills.
Just to interject here, by the way, Colin sets up absolutely almost everybody with their love.
Seriously?
So he just sort of just like saunters on over and is like, hey, by the way, have you seen this chick? You might want to talk to them. And then they end up married. And like that happens in almost all of the books.
Goodness. So Colin got all of the matchmaking mojo that Emma clearly didn't.
Yeah. And I think like Violet thinks that she's the matchmaker of the family, and then Colin's out here pulling all the strings, making it all happen. Anyway.
Wow.
Continue.
Okay. I'd rather stick with Colin and his renowned matchmaking skills, conveying the devil-may-care attitude we love and need for his character development. Plus, Kate and Colin's interactions are too iconic. Thing is, I don't know if he'll be back in episode 1 or later because of his travels. Either way, I'm hoping to see him in all 8 episodes, all grown, mature, funny, and charming, and sexy with a beard.
With a beard, please.
I also
Have you seen photos of him with a beard? Ah!
No.
So handsome.
Oh, okay. Whew. Let's see. I wonder if we'll get to see him behaving like a rake or sexy, for sexy purposes, since it'll surely be obvious that he won't be much green anymore after his comeback. Colin must have made some pretty steamy encounters in Greece and Cyprus.
Oh.
LMAO. One thing for sure, Pan will probably explode with passion. LOL. And so will Colin, though a bit later. I mean, our dear Penelope gaining confidence day by day. There's no way he's left indifferent to her personality and stunning beauty. I'm particularly looking forward to their friendship and the sexual tension coming from their adorable exchanges and dances. Anyway, sorry for the long message. That's the Birgderton HR effect right here. Keep up the good work and the positive vibes, lady. You're doing amazing. Winky face from France with love. XOXO.
Ode?
Oh.
Ode?
Ode?
I'm sorry we butchered your name, Ode.
I would never know I took so much French as
I got
in my early years.
A star at GCSE, and look at me now, bitches. I can't pronounce anything. I'm as always very sorry for the British. Like, we are bad. I want Colin to just gradually realize that Penelope is smoking hot. Like, that's the...
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude. Like, she's smoking hot. And she's standing right there.
She's right in front of you. Right in front of you.
And he's like, oh, we're such good friends, Penelope. Oh, you're so nice to me. And she's just like, oh, come on, dude. Dude.
Okay, I'm looking for pictures of the beard.
Yeah, on his Instagram. He's posted some videos of him singing. I suggest watching that if you want to cry. He sings yellow. So perfect considering that's Penelope's least favourite colour.
Is he under his name?
So it's Luke Newton UK.
Ooh.
Isn't it like it's a different look? I think it would be great for like him to come back from his travels and he's like, oh, I'm sophisticated and European now, and I have a beard.
Yes.
And Penelope's just like, swoon.
Yeah, exactly. Just does a great big giant swoon moment. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Agree. We're all agreed. Yes, please take the beard into the season. Before we say goodbye at the end of this overly long podcast, I want to thank every listener for sticking with us. even though we had no idea what was happening in the next episode and you had all seen it. Like, what are these people talking about? Everyone who wrote in and who wrote a review and rated us, it's heartening to see this podcast grow over the past few months. We've had so many nice words. And as I said, I'm very uncomfortable with it, so let's move on. I mostly created this podcast so that I could chat to Michelle about this show. And you're a trooper, Michelle, for getting up at 5 a.m. every Tuesday to record this. And, like, not watching the next episode. You're like a literal angel. But it's also just been really fun to meet new fans. And we've built this little tiny community of Bridgerton hysterics on Twitter. So everybody follow us.
Yes.
We are uncovering daily news about filming. Yesterday, we realised that the show's creator is in London, and then that sent us down a rabbit hole of trying to work out the timeline. Like, how pregnant is Daphne? Does this make sense? Ugh. And this kind of stuff happens like every day, and it's tragic and it's really funny. Okay, so during the endless wait for season 2, other than my tweeting, we will be back to Poldark Fancast if you want to listen to us. That's our regular day job. We'll be doing commentary tracks for season 1.
Yes.
So if you're looking for a period drama to fill the void, or you miss us, just Google Poldark Fancast and you can watch the show with us. And we will be screaming like, oh my god, this is really good! Because that's literally the only good season of that show.
Yeah.
We're everywhere at Birgderton Fancast or at Poldark Fancast. Thank you for listening, and we will see you for season 2.
Yes.
I guess bye. I'm so sad. Bye.
I know. Bye, everybody. We'll miss you.